High above the Earth lies the International Space Station, the first microgravity laboratory for the whole world. Let's go there now to meet the host of our show, the robot who knows a lot, MC.
Hello, everybody. I'm MC the Robot. I see you made it to the International Space Station. Welcome. Oh, by the way, for you first-time space travelers, we're about 407 kilometers above the Earth. So don't look down if you're afraid of heights. Told you not to look down. Now that you're here, let's talk about the International Space Station. The space station is... What's that? You've never heard of a space station? Then let's take a look back into space station history.
Space Station History. The first recorded ideas for a space station surfaced in the late 1800s and early 1900s. It all seemed fanciful at the time. Humans living and working in space. Who would believe it? The 1950s. The space age has become a reality. Rocket scientist Wernher von Braun visualizes a wheel-shaped space station. Is this the shape of things to come? 1971. Russia launches the first space station, the Salyut 1. Space stations become a reality as cosmonauts live and work on board the craft. 1973. The United States launches its first space station, Skylab. Inside, astronauts conduct scientific experiments, study the Earth, and learn about the effects of weightlessness on the human body in space. 1986. Russia begins assembly on the space station Mir. Records are broken for long-term stays in space, and scientific research in orbit continues. 1995. The United States teams up with Russia, docking the space shuttle with the Mir for the first time, starting a new era of cooperation to prepare for the International Space Station.
Thanks for that great overview. Now, let me show you the latest and greatest in space stations, the International Space Station. Let's take a quick tour of the largest spacecraft ever built. The International Space Station is over 108 meters long. It's made up of many different modules of all shapes and sizes. When complete, the station can hold up to 7 people. It will have the same volume as the inside of 2 jumbo jets. Now, what do you suppose the astronauts can do with all that room?
Things to do with all the room on the station. A. Open a clothing store. B. Make a space restaurant. Or C. Conduct important scientific research in the microgravity of space. If you chose C, conduct important scientific research in the microgravity of space, you are correct.
That's right. Science is the main purpose for building a space station. Different crews live and work on board the station, conducting science experiments for months at a time. And since the station can stay in space for at least 10 years after it's complete, that's a lot of science. And remember, microgravity gives us a chance to study how liquids, metals, crystals, and even flames behave. This research is very important. It could lead to better computers, better fuels, and even better medicine. And since crews can stay on board the station for long periods of time, they can test the effects of microgravity on the human body. Something we need to know if we plan to travel long distances in space, like back to the moon or even onto Mars. Now that you know why we need a space station, the next question is how to get it into space. Remember how we said the International Space Station is the largest spacecraft ever put into orbit? What's it going to take to lift it 407 kilometers above the Earth?
It's just too heavy.
The station is heavy. In fact, it weighs over 450,000 kilograms. No single rocket in existence can lift that. But if we take the station and separate it into pieces, then those pieces can be lifted into space. The different station parts are being made around the world. After all, we couldn't call it the International Space Station unless there were many countries involved with building it. That's right. You might call the space station a station of nations. Now let's take a quick look at what's going on around the world with just a few of the countries involved with the station and the parts they're building. Location, Russia. Some of the key station pieces are made here. This is the control module named Zarya, the Russian word for sunrise. It's the very first piece of the space station. If it looks pretty technical, that's because it is. It provides the early steering and power. It's launched into space on a Russian Proton rocket, like this. Location, USA. This piece is Node 1, named Unity. It's one of the smaller pieces of the station. At around 6.7 meters long, it's pretty big for being small. Unity earns its name because it's a connecting tunnel to other parts of the station. See how it has so many portholes? It was made in Huntsville, Alabama, then moved to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for launch. Unity is carried up into orbit by the Space Shuttle, like this.